The Canada immigrant scam. People really need to understand this, that the immigration scam in Canada is totally real. You know, I'm getting adverts on my phone all the time about move to Canada. They think I'm Mexican, I guess, because I'm down here in Mexico. So I get all these Google ads, come to Canada, the benefits, everything is great. And when you look at who is actually advertising, it's these immigration consultants who are advertising, and they're doing this not only in Mexico, they're doing this in many countries. They're doing it in India a lot. I've heard from a lot of people who have moved from India and have said that the targeted ads that people get to move to Canada, selling this fake lifestyle that doesn't exist, is kind of absolutely baffling for people to understand. Essentially, because these immigration consultants essentially rip people off. I mean, I've actually been through the immigration and I've done my application myself. I did everything myself. And these immigration consultants, they rip people off. They absolutely rip people off. They charge them these enormous fees for doing literally nothing but just submitting paperwork. You have to gather all the documents, send it to them, and all they do is upload it and submit it and charge you 10 grand for doing it, and maybe give you a little bit of advice. And a lot of the ones in India are completely unregulated. There's massive problems with that. There can be fraud and all kinds of different things that goes on with the applications. This whole idea that you're just gonna move to Canada and have a better life is just totally wrong. It doesn't exist, guys. I've lived in Canada for over 6 years now, and I haven't found it. It's more like the UK than I thought it would be, if not with more bureaucracy. And okay, the UK has gone downhill a lot since I came here because of the energy crisis. But one thing, you know, Canada takes the crown for essentially is just the overall cost of living just skyrocketing. To a lot of Canadians, they can't understand it, because if they bought a house a long time ago, they fixed their cost of living at a very, very low price, and they're kind of well off in that sense because they've seen a lot of appreciation in their home values due to the financial bubbles that have happened within Canada. And the thing to remember is these are financial bubbles and they are going to burst. We see them burst all the time, and there's great books that have been written about it. I mean, it's not that immigrants are bringing loads and loads of cash, because why is debt going up at the same pace as some of the housing markets in Canada, like Toronto? Since this super bubble started in Canada, you've seen debt skyrocket 422%. And you've seen the Toronto housing market go up something like 415% in the same period. You've seen the Calgary housing market go up near 300% in the same period. So in the past 20 years of this super bubble, you have seen just these values of homes, no matter where you are, go up a lot. And you know, a lot of people would say to me, actually, Luke, Calgary housing values haven't gone up. But if you look and pinpoint where the start of this bubble was, which was around 2003, because that's when mortgage debt turned from going like this to going like this, you notice that actually, yes, it has. It's gone up nearly 300%, which just isn't normal. And it's not going to be sustained either. And the other thing is, geopolitically, Canada is just, it's far from a neutral place anymore. And I think that's a real shame, because I think that was one of the benefits in Canada. Canada was always neutral. Now it is just getting involved with everything. A lot of the things don't make sense. I'm not going to get into details about it because people have strong views and I just don't want to get into arguments about it. The way that they have kind of put themselves on the global stage over the past couple of years is somewhat laughable to many different countries, including where a lot of these immigrants are coming from. Places like India are just kind of laughing at countries like Canada. I think a lot of the people that have come to Canada have come and been sold this dream that everything is going to be okay and life is going to be much better. When I came to Canada, it was in 2012, I believe, and it was just a totally different country to when we actually emigrated there in 2016. And you know, it takes a long time, and this is what people don't understand. When you say you're going to move countries, it doesn't just happen just like that. It takes a long time to get everything in motion. You have to get all your documentation, you have to get yourself set up, you need to know where to move to. And it takes a long time. By the time we got to move into Canada, it was 2016, Justin Trudeau had got in power, and then he decided to just plunder and destroy things even more. And I don't want to blame this just on one politician, because it's really not just Trudeau. You had Harper before that, who had this stealth bailout of the banks, the IMPP in 2008. So he wasn't really any better. And I don't think any politician is going to come in here and clean things up, even though a lot of Canadians are under this false impression that everything's going to change if we just get a change of power, because I think things have gotten so bad under Justin Trudeau. But I think Canada is kind of at the end of the line in a sense, because it's getting to the point where its currency is getting more and more under pressure. I don't think a lot of people realize this. You know, either it's declining against the US dollar, or it's declining against gold, and they're inversely correlated at the moment. So, and essentially, I think eventually it will be declining against both gold and the US dollar. I think it's really important to understand that Canada is not in a good place, and markets are even telling us that Canada is in a terrible situation with the yield curve inversion that we're seeing. So, you know, a lot of people follow this channel, and they follow it because they know it's real. Like, I really don't care. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to please people when I make these videos. I don't care if people like them or do like them. I really don't care. That's not why I'm here to make them. I'm here to just kind of vent, essentially, because, you know, this is my only place to vent about the situation in Canada. And it's interesting because a lot of people have reached out and said that, you know, what I'm saying really resonates with them. And I understand that, because I feel like YouTube, for instance, is a place full of fake people where there is no real people anymore, because everybody is just on here to make money, and it's lost what it truly was here to do, which was community-based videos. You know, and I really hope my videos just help people, and I've heard from so many people who have left or who are leaving, and I'm sure that's just going to ramp up. You know, emigration, people leaving Canada, has skyrocketed since 2021, and that's only just going to continue. You know, it doesn't matter how much false propaganda different cities like the city of Calgary put out there, because they were paying creators just a couple of years ago to come to Calgary and essentially make videos on how good Calgary was. And I just found that hilarious. There's so much propaganda about this is going to solve it, and it's really not. It's the country is in a crisis mode. The country is going to suffer immensely because of the debt cycle that it's in, and a lot of people are going to suffer, and it will be like 2008 but worse, because it's much bigger than 2008 in the US. What I'm trying to say in this video is there are other places, there are other opportunities out there. You don't have to be stuck with Canada. Just have a goal that you're going to move somewhere else, or have a goal even to just explore other places to move, and then try and settle on one that you prefer, and then start to work towards getting that goal by just taking baby steps. When it comes to making progress in life, I've realized one thing, and one thing is that you just take baby steps. If you try and go the whole way all at once, you'll never make it. You'll be overwhelmed and depressed because you won't be making enough progress. But if you make little baby steps to change direction, before you know it, a year's passed and you've changed from north to west. There's this thing called the valley of disappointment, that when you strive to meet a goal, you're always going to go through this initial phase where it goes down, and then it starts to go up very quickly towards the end as you make more and more progress. And if you enjoyed this video, you might like that one there. You might also like that one there. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye-bye.